Welcome back to the Texas music scene, friends. Reckless Kelly took the West Coast last summer and performed and recorded live versions of all the songs from their 2008 album, Bulletproof, over the course of that run. The collection is being released as a 10-year celebration of the record in 2019 as Bulletproof Live. Here's Reckless Kelly's frontman, Willy Braun, with more of the story on that project.
I try to understand. You're out looking for a man, but you're fighting them off just as hard as you can. Girl, what you gonna do when I don't run away with you? And you finally realize that I'm just passing through. Passing through. Passing through. Well, I just rolled in and I'm gone like the wind. I'm just passing through.
We wanted to go out and record live versions of all the songs on Bulletproof. It was the 10-year anniversary, and didn't really know what we were going to do with it. We thought maybe we'd just, toss up a little bootleg version on the website or something. And we ended up getting some really good performances and some really good recordings, just from our setup that we take with us everywhere we go. And so we decided to actually release it as a live album. And so we've got Bulletproof Live. It's every track off the studio record. There's a bonus track on there as well. And it turned out pretty cool. Yeah, we kind of, we recorded a few different songs off of Bulletproof every night. We were just throwing a few into the set, not doing the whole show front to back Bulletproof, but just a few songs here and there every night. And, we just kind of went through all the performances and picked our favorite takes and the ones that sounded the best, the ones where the band was kind of really clicking. And that night at Sutter Creek, we got a really good version of You Don't Have to Stay Forever. And it just kind of pops, everybody's kind of on the same page that night on stage, and there's a lot of good energy, had a great crowd that night, and it's a cool little theater, so it's a good representation of the song.
I'm an old man strolling down Riverside. Two broken hearts beating fast and right on time. I got nothing to lose, I might as well lay it on the line. I don't wanna be alone, so won't you stay with me tonight? It's so good to see you now. It's as though you were never gone. Even after all this time, I want you more than ever, and I know you'll never be mine. You don't have to stay forever. You don't have to stay forever. You don't have to stay forever. Maybe you could stay tonight.
Ragged as the Road, that's kind of the flagship song on Bulletproof. We play it almost every night. We've had people actually say, how come we never play Ragged? And let's take a look at this Elvis. We play it every night. The Tower Theater, that was the first time we went back to Bend, Oregon, since we'd lived there. We actually hadn't even been to Bend since we moved out, 20 some odd years ago, which is just up the road from Milliken, where our first album was named after. So it was kind of our homecoming thing, even though we only lived there for about a year. But we had a great crowd at this place called the Tower Theater that I don't think was there when we were living in town. There was a lot of our old friends that were still in town, or people came down from Portland and Salem and the surrounding areas. So we had a lot of friends in town. And we were kind of, when you go back to your old stomping grounds, you always have a little bit of a chip on your shoulder, like you want to do a good show. Maybe a chip on the shoulder isn't the right term, but you definitely always want to impress people, and you bring your A game, and then the crowd was really happy to have us back, I think. So, that all kind of starts doing this circular thing where we're giving them a little more and they're giving us a little more. It just kind of blossoms into a really cool vibe, Had a great show that night. And we got a few different performances from that show, I think. And Ragged as the Road is definitely one of them.
Well, there's a road I'm on, cracked by the cold, scorched by the sun, searched by the soul, and it's a working back break.
Yeah, every song really, it takes on a life of its own once you play it a couple thousand times, It's definitely going to be faster. We don't have to try to do that. That just happens. And there's always, the live version is going to be some energy. Like I sing it a completely different way than I do in the studio because I'm saying it a bunch and there's a lot more emotion behind it when you're playing it in front of people. We got Bucket Allen to come out with us on a run out to the West Coast where we did maybe 20 or 30 shows and working our way up to the Braun Brothers reunion and back. And Bucka played on the original album, played on most of the songs. And so we had this, the same people that played on the record on the road, and we re-recorded all of them on that tour, so the whole live album, the live version of it is out there on that West Coast run. And Dave Beta mixed it and then mastered it, and so we got some really great stuff.
Black gold, silver stars, cold hard cash for armored cars. The brass ain't fighting, but it sure is still taking a stand. We'll have to live with American blood on our hands.
Godforsaken Town, we recorded in Newport Beach, California, at a place we'd never played called Campus Jacks, and it was a little spot kind of on the beach, and but we had a great crowd that night, and we got a few good takes from that show as well. And Godforsaken Town is one I wrote with Robert O'Kane. We both have a lot of friends from New Orleans, and we have done shows down there together. Some of the first times we ever played in New Orleans was with Robert and his band. So after the hurricane, Katrina, Robert and I were going to write a song together, and I had a verse and a chorus written to this tune, and took it out there, and I thought it was pretty good, so I definitely wanted to bring my best stuff to the table when I was writing with Robert, and luckily he liked it, so we ended up finishing it up, and it was cool. It was a really cool experience to write with Robert. He's always been one of our heroes, and getting to sit down, across the table from a guy like that and just see how he does it, steal a few tricks from his book it was a really cool experience, just to get to kind of watch one of the guys who I consider one of the best at what he does just do his thing.
Let the rain sting my neck. Let the mighty Mississippi take this godforsaken town. Let the storm and all its fury come and carry me away. Take me to that place somewhere on high ground.
And then there's a few tunes on the record that we haven't played since we made the album. Just kind of album cuts that never really, we played them live a handful of times. And so there's a lot of those that are almost like playing brand new songs because we had to relearn them, and those are kind of exciting and a little scary, because you're out there playing them for the first time, essentially, even though they're 10 years old.
Girls got love